But in terms of politics and numbers, there is no significant Asian American Latino, I'm sorry, Arab vote, Palestinian vote in Michigan or Wisconsin or Minnesota or anywhere in the country. That's a figment of the media's imagination, and it's being cooked up as propaganda. The fact is that the Palestinian or Arab American vote in the largest state, in Michigan, is about 2 to 3%, a fraction of even the Jewish vote. And I think the idea that Biden is doing this pro-Iranian stuff to court political favor in the West is just wrong. It's a stupid policy of Biden's, but there's no electoral motivation in it.
So let me ask you, is he cowtailing to that small sliver because they're a vocal sliver? Or just like you said, is it just a policy that sort of continues the Obama policy? And will it hurt him on the flip side with Jewish Americans who are looking at it and saying what's happened in the last little bit?
Yeah, I think that it is a continuation of the Obama policy, and it is because they're so noisy and so loud, and they're in his face at demonstrations and stuff like that. It will hurt him with the Jewish vote. But in the last analysis, it is an irrational move by Biden, and we shouldn't think that the Arabs have any more political power in the U.S. than they do.
Now, what about some of these new numbers with some of these other demographics? Let's talk about that.
Sure. Well, one of them is they're all very encouraging, and they all indicate really that this race has gone to almost a consensus developing in the country to have Trump replace Biden. It's gone from a horse race to a lead to an overwhelming lead to damn near consensus. The Rasmussen poll this week has us 8 points ahead, 49 to 41. And just 2 weeks ago, Trump had a 6-point lead. And about 2 weeks before that, he had a 4-point lead. And a month before that, he was only 2 ahead. So this is expanding really exponentially. And it's being driven by huge changes in key demographic groups. Latinos, for example, who Biden carried by 21 points in 2020. Trump is now leading them by 11 points. That's a turnaround of 32. And among Blacks, who Biden carried by 92 to 8, Trump is now only 10 behind, a gain of 43 points. Trump got 8% of the Black vote in 2020. Now the last poll shows him at 39. I think that's probably too high, but it's extraordinary. And among Asian Americans, the group you're just talking about, only about 6% of whom are Muslim. But they're 5% of the total vote are Asian Americans. Trump is now 3 points ahead, a group that Biden carried in 2020 by 72 to 28.
Wow. And Dick, we just have a few seconds left. I want to make sure I get to this with you. I've been dying to ask you this. Independent voters, of course, we're seeing also a swing. Do you think we'll see RFK in the mix? What kind of impact will he play on all this?
Well, these numbers I'm quoting to you are assuming a 4-way or 5-way race. So Kennedy's in these numbers. I think it's very helpful to us. But I think you have to appreciate the seismic change that is taking place every week in this race. Biden is just absolutely off the charts at the bottom end. People are just saying we cannot permit him to be president again. I personally wonder if it isn't going so far and so strong that the Democrats will have to replace Biden. They're now probably imperiling six or even 7 Senate seats, and as well as a plethora of House seats. So I just think you're talking about a landslide here.